Hello, good morning everybody. So, today's session is about object oriented programming with Java. So, let me first quickly revise what we have learned in yesterday's session, and we will find out what we are going to learn for today's session is. So, yesterday we are been learning about the operators concepts in Java, and I was explain you with a few examples yesterday, and today what we are going to cover today is we are going to cover the leftover operators which is presented from leftover from the yesterday's session. Am I very clear? So, now let me talk about what actually we are learned yesterday. We have learned yesterday is a different kind of arithmetic operators, assignment operators, and arithmetic assignment operators, and we have learned about unary operators. And very important factor what we need to remember from the yesterday's session is you have to remember unary operators. Very important thing, in interview compulsory there would be a question on unary operators. So, what is that unary operators is? Unary operators are the operators which can be of two forms. One is pre-increment or decrement, and the post increment and decrement. Hope you guys understand yesterday's session about the pre-increment and decrement, alright. So, hope you also practice some of the examples what we have discussed in the yesterday's session, alright. So, now today we are being covered in the rest of two operators, and the next thing is we also learn today in today's session we also learn about how do you read an input from a keyboard which is entered by the user, alright. So, now first thing is let me show you what actually we are going to learn today, right. So, then after that we will alright. So, now let me quickly go to our slides and what we have been learning. Right. So, already we have learned about arithmetic operators, assignment operators also done, and arithmetic assignment operators also finished, and we are been into yesterday is unary operators also done, and today we are going to learn about relational operators and conditional operators. Along with that we will also finish some kind of logical operators, alright. So, first thing is as we have been talking about the operators, right. Operators are the things, operators are the symbols which is able to perform either arithmetic or a logical kind of operations. What we are been learning in yesterday's session all will be in the form of arithmetic operators, and today what we are going to learn today, the output of this two kind of operators is a logical. Logical in the sense it could be either true or false in the format of true and false. That is what we are going to learn today is, okay. First thing is relational operators. What is this relational operators do? Relational operators are the operators in any programming, maybe C, maybe C++, maybe Java, which tells you about what is the relation between two operands. I mean to say the operands can be a constant value, or else operands can be a variables which can be changes that particular values, right. So, that is what whenever you want to find out a relation between a multiple variables or multiple operands, we basically present some kind of operators to be written in your program, that is something called it as relational operators, okay. So, we will quickly see with one example. So, how does you can use this relational operators, and then I am going to show you how to execute this relational operators program, and then I will execute and I will show you what is the output of this particular programs is, okay. Now, let me go to a simple program. So, I am going to show you with this simple program now. So, first thing is I am going to write, okay, first import this particular namespace or particular package we can call it as, right. So, java.lang we have a package star which can get all this particular thing, even though you are not writing it is okay because it is a default package, okay. So, here this is something called as packages, right. So, as I already discussed about these packages in earlier classes, please go back to the earlier classes and try to find out what is the meaning of a packages. Today write a class, okay, the class, or I am going to write the class name as let us see relational operators, okay, otherwise I will write as test1, alright. I am going to close this particular class. Try to write a method, alright, public static void a main method. Okay. So, we are been talking about this main method in the next couple of days time. Okay. So, when we are started a method concept, we will learn about what is the importance of this main method is. Okay. So, by the time try to remember the architecture or try to remember how to write the simple Java program is. Okay. So, these are the simple things you need to remember. And then after that, I am going to write a simple program here, which I basically I will define a two variables here, something say I comma j, two variables, and the value of I am defining as 10 and the value of j I am defining as 20. Alright, two things I am going to define here, and here what I want to do is let me show you how this particular thing will be print. System dot out dot print ln, where I am going to define the value of I plus first thing, right. So, then after that I am going to define the value of j. Alright. So, now let me show you the output up to this, then after that we are going to add some of the relational operators into this particular program is. Okay. Now, let me save this particular program on the same folder what you are basically storing is. I am storing the everything in my Java programming a folder. In that I just want to store this particular file is. Okay. So, the file name is test1 dot extension of every Java program is dot Java, and you can just save this particular program is. As soon as your program is got saved, go to command prompt, right. So, just open your command prompt and you can see your command prompts will be shown in this way. Right now your control is in Hebion and it is in C users folder and the C drive, and let me go back one step back, another step back, and let me move into the drive D, okay, and try to move into the folder something say Java programming is. Right. So, let me say yes, right now your cursor is in the folder of D followed by Java programming is. Okay. Now, let me show you the list of files which is presented here, and the file what we have created right now is the file name is test1.java now. So, now let me first clear the screen. To execute any Java program, we usually use Java C followed by the file name is test1.java is. Okay. This is particular file which basically uses to execute any Java program is. Okay. Now, let me compile this particular program first. As soon as the compilation is succeeded, on the particular folder where you got saved with this test1.java, on the same folder you will be able to find the file name called test1.class file. It mean to say that it is generated one intermediate code, call it as a byte code. So, then after that Java followed by the file name is test. This is what to execute the particular Java program is. Okay. Still people are not practicing, it is becomes very difficult for the next couple of classes. So, as I am telling you guys, everyone, each and every candidate who is attending these sessions, try to practice more and more examples of programming, so that it will make you better, it will make you very easy to crack any kind of interviews mostly, alright. So, Java followed by test1 which give you the program output here. The program output right now I value define it as 10, j value define it as 20 there. Yes. So, what I want to talk about is, I want to talk about some kind of relational operators, yes or no. So, what is this relational operators do now? So, how this relational operators program that is execute here. So, relational operators, what are the relational operators we have here is, one is less than, greater than, less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, and double equals to, and not equals to, all this one. So, which tells you the relation between an operators which is presented here. Okay. So, for example, if I write A less than B, so which returns you, what value it will be returns here. Previously it used to return some arithmetic operator. If I write A plus B, then it has to return addition of two numbers here. If I write some A minus B, it has to return subtraction of two numbers. But what it's gonna return you? It's gonna return you some Boolean values. Please remember this. I'm gonna show you a simple thing, what it makes a difference, the programming of C to Java. It's gonna return you the value as a Boolean. So this Boolean value can be or of two types, true or false. If something is got satisfied, for example, the condition whatever I am writing here, the condition, this is I can call it as condition also, right. So whatever the condition I am writing here, if the condition is correct, so that it will be returns you the value as true, and if it is wrong, it will be returns you as false. And what it makes the difference between the programming of C and Java. For example, if I go back to the programming of C, if someone is already know about the programming of C, if I write A less than B, for example, A value is 10, B value is 20, I am writing a condition as A less than B, right. If I am writing the condition as A less than B, what basically I will do, I will write the this true or integer format and the result also integer. So if I say result is equals to A less than B, which returns me the value of either 0 or 1, right. So this is what it basically returns you in the programming of C, alright. Yes or no? 100% correct, absolutely correct. It will be returns you the value of either 0 or 1, okay. Why? Question markers, right. So here in Java you are calling as true false, whether is true or false is presented in Java or not, or else C or not. So in programming of C, especially I am talking about programming of C, when I am talking about C, it is similar to C++ also. These two programming languages uses this true false keyword, the representation with 0 and 1. If I am talking about 0, nothing but the condition is returns as false. So whatever the condition you have written, it is returns false, nothing but if I write 1, nothing but it has been written the value as true. These are the two things you need to remember. So and there are a few cases we will also consider true as any one. If something is true, sometimes we can also consider it as non-zero number. Any non-zero number, a programming of C will be considered as true, and only 0 we basically considered as false. Yes, right. Please try to remember, because as we don't have any keywords like true or false in terminology of C programming is, okay. Means what? Here we need to talk about a keywords of C. We have a keywords in C, almost 32 keywords in C, but you won't find any keyword, okay. You won't find any keyword, right, called a true or false, right. So that's a reason if you don't have any keywords called true and false, that's a reason we usually represented with 1 and 0. But now let comes to the Java programming is. In Java programming, we have a keyword called true, we have a keyword called false, and we have a data type called Boolean. As like int, we have a data type called Boolean also. This Boolean is always represents you the value in two ways, either it is true or else it is returns either false. Am I very clear, guys? Yes, okay. So now let me show you the implementation part of this particular program is. Now what I want to do is, I want to define some Boolean variable here, right. As like integer variable, how I'm using a data type called int. Same thing, if I want to define a data type for Boolean, I do have a keyword called Boolean, and followed by Boolean variable is say let us say bool, otherwise give some name, let us say A, right. So this is my variable name, okay. So what is the value I am assigning to it? The value what I am assigning to is I, if it is less than j, what it has to return? There are the two ways, either it can be returns true or it can be returns false. It depends on the value what you are supplied to this particular variables here. Here nothing but 10 is less than 20, yes or no? See that my condition will be represented like this, 10 is less than 20, correct? Yes, so that this variable A has to hold the value as true, yes or no? Now let me show you system dot out dot println show you the value of a boolean, say boolean value or return value of A. Return value for A is, what is the value I just want to assign? A. Alright. So, this is one string, right. So, I am attaching one more string, that is variable A. Everything is in string within println statement. Alright. Now, let me save this particular program, right. So, again go back to the command prompt, right. Try to compile the program again. You can compile the program with a simple thing, Java C followed by test1.java, right. If it is have any errors, it will be listed out here. If don't have any errors, it won't show you any errors there. Then you can execute this particular program. Here, what is the value of return value? Return value of A is what? True, nothing but 10 is less than 20, correct. So that the value which has to return here, that is true. So, as what we are expected, we are also expected value has to be returned by true. So, as per expectation, the computer programming also returns same. Am I very clear? Yes. Now, write one more statement here. The one more statement is A is equals to, I am going to write I is greater than G. Yes. So, what it means to say that 10 is greater than 20. What is it? 10 is greater than 20 is what? It has to be always false. So, now the second statement, okay, I'll do one thing, system dot out dot println. Okay, so what is the value? Okay, just I can say that output of less than operator. Yes, same way I am going to write one more system dot out dot println. Here output of greater than operator. Yes, right now it has to return the value as compulsory false. Okay. So, how do I print that? System dot out dot println, right. What is the return value of A right now? Return value of A is equals to plus A. Now, it has to print the value as false. Now, let me save this particular program again. As soon as if you changes anything in your program, first save that particular program, go to command prompt, again compile your program is, right, compile successfully and execute it. See that first value of I and J is 10 and 20. If it is less than operator, what it has to be? 10 is less than 20, correct. So, that it is returning as true, and here the output of operator greater than, which has to be false, nothing but whatever the user as a developer I am expecting has to be return false, same thing is returned by my program also, right. So, that before you performing any particular program, try to think yourself that what is the expected output as a user is expecting. So, for example, after a complete of my program, what is the user is expecting from my program is? Yes or no? Nothing but as you trying to decrease a human being interaction, we are making a machine has to be interacted with the users, right. Right now, you can see that mobiles are got more popular just because of what? You can have everything is interacted with the mobiles, because we are making a developer is not interacting with application. Yes or no? A developer is writing some programs, is directly included into a machine. I mean to say it's injected into a machine is performing the action whatever it want to perform. That's the reason what I want to tell you guys is, before you writing the program, first let us predict the output what is the user is expecting. Once a user is expected output is perfect, either your program is also giving the same output, then you can start writing your programs. That is what I just want to see that before. Let me see this particular program here. See that the program first I am giving the output that this is what expected output I want to print. Same is printing here also. Yes, these are the two operators. What is the next operator? Less than is done and greater than is also done. Now, what is the next one? Less than or equals to, right. So, now let me say A is equals to I, suppose I is let us say less than or equals to J. Yes. So, write say system dot out dot println, say right now output of less than or equals to operator, right. What it gonna returns you, right? Let me show you that. Again write it as system dot out dot println. So, you can say return value of A is equals to add the plus A to it. Yes, save this particular program, again go to command prompt, right. Just let me first clear the screen. To clear the screen we will use CLS. Yes, go to compile the particular program, your program is got compiled successfully, then execute the program. So, now what is the less than or equals to operator? Less than or equals to operator also returning true, nothing but 10 is less than or equals to 20, correct. So, that your boolean operator which is returning the value as true here, yes or no, right. So, now let me go to the next one. A is equals to I is greater than or equals to J, nothing but I just want to check the relation of this one. Yes, again I will do write system dot out dot println, and here output of greater than or equals to operator is say system dot out dot println, and your return value is return value of A is equals to, let me say A. Alright, save this particular program, try to compile it again, right. Minute you change this program, then automatically next thing is you have to compile the program, right. So, see that return value of less than is true, greater than is equals to false, less than or equals to true, greater than or equals to is false, because the value of I and j is, I want to say that 10 and 20 there, yes or no. Now, this 4 operators also finished, okay. So, nothing but less than is done, greater than is also done, less than or equals to and greater than or equals to, yes. And there are two more things, that is double equals to and not equals to. Please remember that there are most people will get confused with the operators of single equals to and the double equals to. Very lot of people will get confused with this, right. And these two operators will not be same. This operator will be different and this operator will be different, and this operator we basically call it as assignment operator, and this operator we usually call it as relational operator. And this, what is this assignment operator do is, assignment operator do the whatever the value which is presented here, that will be assigned to this particular place. This is what assignment operator do. But if I write A double equals to 10, this will return you the value either true or false. Alright. See that here what it mean to say that is, here this equals to operator will check what are the presented value on right side as well as on left side. If both are same, nothing but A value is 10, as the condition you have written A double equals to 10, so that it will be written the value as true. As for example, let me say A value is 20, 20 double equals to 10, nothing but it is wrong, so that it has to return as false, right. Please note it down, this important point. In an interview, they may ask you this question, what are the differences between a single equals to as well as double equals to? Pretty simple answer you can give for this. Equals to operator falls under assignment operator, double equals to falls under relational operators, and single equals to will assign the value from right side to left side which is presented on your program. But whereas in relational operator, double equals to perform the comparison operation, means what to say that whatever the value which is presented on left side and right side should be same. If it is same, then it will returns you true. If not same, it will be returns you false. Okay. try to make a point on your notes about equals to and double equals, as unlike plus plus and minus minus how it is important in the yesterday's session, in today's session this will be a most important factor. Yes, say that A, I am writing double equals to B. Okay, for example, let us say A is equals to, I can say I double equals to 10, nothing but whether I value is same as 10 or not. If it is 10, it has to return as true. Say println output of double equals to operator right. So, your return value of A will be, so what it has to return. Now, let me check it here. The value of A is I is what, 10, right? 10 is double equals to 10, correct. So, that this operator will has to return the value as true, and this true will be assigned to a variable called A here. Yes, am I very clear on this? Alright. So, now let me save this program and go to compile again the program is. So, let me clear the screen, right. So, you can just check it out. Alright. So, there is something wrong with your program, it is not colon, it is semicolon. Again you can go for compiling a program. See that if I have any errors, I can able to see the errors here. See that, for example, right, I have not shown you any times errors part, right. See that if I have errors, your errors will be listed out like this, right. First time I have a 2 errors, okay. For here actually instead of semicolon I have a colon here. So, that is the first error, and second error is where after statement again there is a semicolon, but instead of semicolon I am writing colon, and I try to replace it, right. So, now again go to program and compile it. Now, once you compile this, I have rectified these 2 errors. So, as soon as if I rectify these 2 errors, then my program is got compiled successfully, then I can execute my program again. See that it has to be written the value as true, because A value as written as true. What is what we are expected, A value true only. So, true is been returned. See that one more operator, A is equals to I is not equals to 10, let us say nothing but 10, alright. So, for example, let me say J, alright. So, J value is how much right now, 20 is not equals to 10, correct. So, that it has to return as true. Say system dot out dot println, right, say output of not equals to operator. Again write it as system dot out dot println, and you can say your return value of A is equals to, let us say A. So, what will be written? Let me find out here, alright. So, now go to command prompt and just compile your program again, right. So, you can compile the program, compilation is succeeded, then you can execute your program with test 1. So, that what it is written true. What we are expected? We are expected also return the value as true only. Yes. So, hope you understand this program, right. Hope you understand this program, and if you are not practicing these programs, becomes very difficult for the next level of programs, because I am explaining you these programs in detail with each and every operators here. So, if you are not practicing these examples, then it will become very important, I mean you will face very difficulties when it is comes to the next level of programming is, because as I am teaching you right now only level 0 of program, that is a fundamentals programming is, yes or no. But when it is goes to the next level, it would be a little more high extension, at the time you will face some difficulties. Please recommended you to practice all these examples every day today. and when I am writing the program, try to note down in your notes or else somewhere in your application, then practice it at the end of the particular application is. Now, let me open my presentation again. Yes, my relational operators also finished, and the last leftover operators are logical operators, very important operators. What is this relational operators do? Nothing but relational operators are the operators which tells you the result between two particular variables. Either you can have a variable 1 which will be represents you variable 2. If there is a relation, it will be returns either true or false, depends on the application or the depends on the condition what you have written. And let me talk about what is this logical operators do. Logical operators are the operators whenever you want to combine more than one condition as a single condition. For example, I have a condition 1, I have a condition 2. There are two conditions I have defined in my program. I have to define, for example, let's see. For example, I want to define a condition that my age is supposed to be greater than 20 as well as less than 30, right. There is a two conditions I have to define. Whenever you want to define these two conditions, you will define it two conditions separately with the help of relational operators. Yes or no? That is what the relational operators will basically tell us. But important thing is, whenever I want to these two conditions, I want to combine it as a single condition, then the comes with an operators called a logical operators. What did logical operators will do? Let me show you with a simple thing. Right. See that you have a logical operators. You have a logical operators of first AND. AND operator can be represented with two AND percentile signs, and you have OR operator will be represented with two pipeline signs. This is called it as pipeline, and there is an operator called NOT will be represented like this. All this what will do is where all these operators will work is where all these operators will work or will operate between multiple conditions. Multiple conditions in the sense it may be a single or it may be a more than one. Nothing but mostly it will be more than 2. Yes, conditions you can write it with a simple relational operators. Conditions you can write with relational operators, and this relational operators conditions you want to combine it, then you can use logical operators. They will ask you a question in an interview, right? What is the usage of relational operators? Pretty simple answer you need to give. A relational operators or the operators which combines you the data into multiple conditions. Nothing but whenever you want to combine the multiple conditions, we basically use our logical operators. Yes. So where this will be works. Okay. For example, I have a condition 1 and imagine there is one operator called AND operation, and there is one more conditions I have, second condition. Two conditions I just want to have. Yes. And what will be the expected return value? That is what most important. Yes. Yes, what is the important thing is, I am writing this condition 1, I am writing this condition 2. Between these two conditions, I am going to place one operator called AND operator. Whenever I am placing AND operator between these two conditions, what is I am expected is, I am expected a value, return value, that is a logical value. Either it has to be in true or false. Yes. For example, let me say condition 1, yes, let me say one more condition, condition 2, and the result of AND operator. What is the result of AND operator and what is the result of OR operator? Just both I am just combining at one place now. Yes. For example, condition 1 is returns as a false. Alright, nothing but a condition I have written which has to be returned as false, nothing but previous conditions. I have written I less than 20 or I greater than 20, right. Sometimes it has to return true, sometimes it is returns false. Imagine that it has returns false. And what will be the result of this AND operator is? The result of this AND operator is also false. And what about the result of this? This is also false. Yes, please note down this particular things what I am writing on my screen. First condition is returns false, but second condition is returns true. Imagine that there are two conditions I am combining. In between I am placing some operator called AND operator. Then what will be the return of this? Again false. But what is the result of OR operator? That is true. Yes. Again one more thing, for example, first condition is returning true, but second condition is returning false. But I am placing an AND operator between this. Again, what is the return value of this? The return value of this again false, but the return value of OR operator is true, right? But both conditions whatever I am writing here, for example, this one is also returning true, right? So this is also return true. Then what will be the expected output of AND operator? Here it is true, yes, and here also it has to be written as true. See that from this particular thing, please note down this very important thing. In interview they will ask you what is the output of AND operator if I am placing that into between two conditions. Yes, right, it will be returns true. See that here, just see that particular line, all this line here only one place it is true, nothing but whenever you want to place AND operator between two conditions, both conditions has to be satisfied, then only your output is satisfied. But OR operator is not like that. If any condition is returns true from both, then your return value will be as true. Yes. So this is how we basically find out with condition 1 and condition 2. Now let me show you with a simple example so that we will understand very easily. Yes, so I am writing one more program, say import java dot let us say lang package I am importing with star all classes, right, say class test2, right, close this particular class, public static void main, right, making as string arguments as inputs. Yes. Now open this particular method, I am going to close this particular method here. Yes, once you close this particular method, so I am going to write two variables here, integer variable a and integer variable b, a value defining as 10 and b value defining as 8, two variables I am defining, right. So now just wait for a moment. Here this value also will make it as a random values. We will read the values of a and b from the command screen with the help of some other methodology, but by the time I am trying to give these two values as a static values which has been defined in my program itself. Am I very clear? Right. So now let me show you with a simple thing. First I am writing a system.out.println, the value of a I am defining, that is plus a, and a value of b also I am defining, right, say b. Yes. After this I want to write a two condition. Condition 1 supposed to be a has to be greater than or equals to 8, right, this is condition 1, and also I want to write one more condition, that is b supposed to be greater than 5. Two conditions I want to write. This is one condition 1 and this is your condition 2, two conditions, right. But I want to make this condition has to be only on single condition, right. Here this has to be mandatory. Now I am placing what operator? AND operator, and the return value is always a boolean value, right. So try to define a boolean variable here. So how you have defined a boolean variable here? Same way define a boolean variable here also. Boolean some x. You can say x value is equals to, you can define the variable like this and put a semicolon. Nothing but what has to be happen now? this has to be greater than 8 or equals to nothing but a value is how much? Right now a value is how much? 10, exactly, wonderful. Say 10 is greater than 8, correct. 10 is, sorry, a b value is 8, 8 is greater than 5, correct. Both has to be correct. So that what is the value it has to be written? It has to be written the value as true. Print ln, right. So the output of AND operator, what it has to be written now? Let me show you that output. Say system dot out dot say print ln, right. So now I want to print the value of result boolean value, that is say x value I want to assign it, say x value. Yes, save this particular program now. So now how do I save this particular program? Same thing, but here I just want to write the name of the particular class is test2 dot extension of my program is .java, and try to save this particular program on the location wherever you want. Save this program and go to command prompt, right. Compile your Java program now. How to compile it? Java C followed by test2 dot extension is Java. Yes, when you compile this program, compile successfully, then you can execute it, something say test2. See that both conditions are true, so that your return value is true. Imagine I am just changing this particular thing, right. I am just copy this particular program, right, paste here, and just want to change here a value supposed to be greater than or equals to 20. See that here what is the value of a right now? A value is 10, but it is supposed to be greater than or equals to 20. Is it correct? No, nothing but one condition is wrong, other condition is true, but still you can see that Java C, you can say test2 dot the program is .java. Yes, so right now you can execute this particular program, that is something say test2. So what is the return value here? False, nothing but here one condition is correct, b greater than or equals to 5, that is correct, but this condition is false. Yes or no? Even one condition is false, between the two conditions the return value of this boolean variable is false, because as I am placing what? AND operator here. Yes or no? But same thing, I will do one thing, instead of AND operator I am going to place OR operator, two pipeline signs which represents you pipeline attributes, two lines which shows you something called pipeline attribute. So when I save this particular program and when I compile this program again, see that in this one condition is correct and the other condition is also correct. In this case what it has to be written? It has to be written the value as true. Yes or no? It has been written the value as true. But here what I want to do is I want to change this particular program such a way that this has to be changed the value as 20. Again this variable make it as OR operator, here also make this one as OR operator. Yes. Now what here in this case, this particular variable value which has been written as false, nothing but one condition is false, it has to be false. But what about here? It has to be true, nothing but any condition if you are placing between that, if you are placing any operator called OR, then it has to be written value as true. Yes, just compile this program, right, and again execute this particular program. See that it has been written the value as true. Yes. So now here in this particular case, OR operator here returned as false, but AND operator returned as true. Yes or no? So these are the few things you need to remember for the next level of product development. For example, in the next particular things, we basically go for developing our applications with higher values, because as I am having a simple right now, simple examples I am doing, in the next level you have a very large examples will come. So that examples only you, if and only if you understand whenever you practice all these examples properly. Yes. So now let me go back to my presentation. Here the presentation right now I have operators called logical operators also finished. Now please now note it down this particular sizes of your data types. Say we have a data type called byte, which takes you 1 byte of memory, and the size will be 128 minus 128 to 127. Okay. And the second one is short, which is takes you 2 bytes. Please note it down, this particular example or this particular slide. So why? Because these are the example or these are the questions they will ask you in interviews whenever it have a multiple choice questions. They will ask you the range between what is the range of byte, what is the range of short, what is the range of integer, all these things they are going to ask you in your interviews, right. So that please try to note down this. Byte is taking 1 byte of memory, short is taking 2 bytes of memory, integer taking 4 bytes of memory, long is taking 8 bytes of memory, float is taking 4 bytes of memory, double is taking 8 bytes of memory, character takes 2 bytes of memory, boolean is not defined, it just priority of true and false. Please quickly complete it, right. Just complete this and the ranges also. Hope you finished. All right. So once you finished, this is will be our session for today's class. All right. So you have any questions, you can post it on the comment window, and please try to share this video to your friends who doesn't know how to use operators in Java. Please practice and practice so that you will have a better idea how to practice in examples. Now let me tell you what we have done for today's classes. We have done all the operators from the previous 2 sessions till the day. We have finished all the operator concept. Please make sure that every candidate who is attending the session try to have a practice. Okay, that's it for today's session. Thank you so much for listening to this class. By the way, I am Anil Kumar, trainer of APSSDC.